Still have a lot more fuel on the left than the right, so we're going to continue to take from there. Again, that's our fuel selector down here. Right tank, left tank. And that would be the rear tank if we had any. And up here are your two wing tanks. You can switch for a second, it doesn't cut off immediately, it takes time for the fuel to flow through the system. There's a fuel header tank above the engine, so any short interruption in fuel won't cause the engine to cut out. Alright, back up to 49 on the manifold. RPMs are still 27, that's good. Artificial rising actually seems to be fairly reasonable. And I'm just going to dead reckon my way home and find the coast and follow it to Godada. Now, one thing I haven't been doing much is checking my 6, and that's because I can cheat. I can look on here and I know there's no other humans in the server, and this server doesn't have any AIs that attack you. Not very realistic. You should be able to turn that off too. Also, the whole DCS scoring system doesn't work well enough to really even bother. That thing I was doing back there where I shoot and then check the score and see if I hit something, that's pretty unrealistic. Doing a bit of trimming. So there's the ocean. That's so now that we're nice and light, we can have a little fun. Let's fly down this valley. Now, you never want to push down, so if you want to dive, you go upside down to get yourself pointed down. Because, let me demonstrate, going up's okay, you're pushing blood into your leg. But what's worse is going down and pushing blood into your head. That'll black you out. Although I'm not blacking. If I tried that in a MiG-15, I would be blacked out really bad. And I was at a pretty high speed there. It was up over 400 miles an hour. And P-51 pilots do not have G-suits. I like how the environment affects the reflections on my my glass and stuff, but it doesn't update fast enough. It kind of blinks every couple seconds. Maybe if they could just fade it from one to another. But that discrete jump from one lighting to another, a little bit, I'm not sure it's worth the effect. The other thing is ground that should be obscured by the bottom of my cockpit. It seems to be lighting the underside of my HUD here. Gun sight, whatever we call it in World War II. Smoking cigarettes. So, knowing this map, I can tell we're north of Sochi, which is north of Gudada, our home field. Sochi is neutral on this map, so it's no problem to fly over. I won't get shot. Although I am in enemy territory. Again, this is the way, if you want to go down fast, do it upside down. You always thought that was just something they did to look cool in movies, but no, you actually do that. It keeps the blood from rushing to your head. Let's go under these wires. This is a good time to bring up something. So DCS has this very nice feature called GForce's affect head movement or something like that. You can enable it with left Windows F1. I'm going to turn it on now. So now my head no longer seems like it's welded to the plane, which is cool. And it's informative. It gives you a sense of the G-forces that are on the plane. But the problem, let's get so I can see the ball. If I'm doing it perfectly, that ball right down here, this thing, it's exactly what it looks like. It's a ball inside a curved channel of glass, and it wants to go in the direction that it thinks is. I'll get trimmed out here. So if we do what's called a coordinated turn with the right amount of rudder, that ball stays centered. So the ball is centered. As far as the plane is concerned, if I can just do it right, gravity is straight down to the plane. And yet, look at my view here. It's tilted to try to, I don't know what, make the horizon look straight. If I wanted to do that, I could tilt my head here in reality. And I don't want to do that. This just looks wrong to me. I want this. I want my head to stay vertical, because if you're pulling G's, the last thing you want to do is tilt your head to the side, because then you're holding your head up and it weighs several times its normal weight. Also, I don't know what people are doing sailing boats here in Korea in the middle of winter. Looks like there's a little resort town down there. So yeah, I would use the GForce head movement feature if it wasn't for that, because there's no GForce that's... Hang on, I got to enable it again. There's no GForce